But let's look at studying further. When you want to study further, you want to author papers, you have to look at going to Harvard Business School that Vaidi was talking about, which means you need to get good recommendations from professors. Yes. Good GMAT scores, good GRE scores and what have you. Yes. Now how do you get good recommendation from professors if they've never seen you and you don't know them? Is it possible? No. One lady is clear, Harvard. Good, I like it. So for studying further, the most important thing is to know a lot of people who are in your area of specialization, right? Yes or no? So again, to know those people, you need to get to them and reach them, and that's networking for you. To do a good job, once you get into jobs, you can trust me on this, nothing happens unless you know people in any organization. Without a face to a name, things don't move. Even in large companies, agile companies, companies which are private enterprises and not public enterprises like what we got used to, if you don't have a face to a name, things just don't move. I can give you my own example when I was working in city. One of my biggest clients when I was in Coimbatore was in Salem. And RBI says you can't issue credit cards outside your branch location. RBI says you can't issue credit cards beyond your branch location. And in Citibank, my wallet is in my car, we had a black card. It was called the Ultima. And every rich guy wanted to have a black Ultima. It's like the Ferrari of credit cards. You could have 25 lakh limit there. And, you could walk into a Mercedes showroom and buy a Mercedes on credit card. It was that kind of a card. Now this client, who was my biggest client in Salem, said, give me a card. At that point, he had 100 crores of his in my bank. How much? A lot of money, right? The biggest client. But my guy went there, filled in card application, put it into the system. Citibank has this fantastic system built by some fantastic IT professional. And the card got rejected. And worst, instant SMS to him, your credit card application has been declined. And in the next 30 seconds, I get a call. What nonsense. Why did you embarrass me? If you didn't want to give a card, you could have told me. Why embarrass me in front of my staff, my family, my total manam poichi, idu poichi, my daughter will not get married. That's the kind of feeling that he had. Because a credit card application got declined. So what do you do now? What do you do as branch manager if you have a 100 crore client wanting to get a card? You pick up the phone, you call the credit manager who was your classmate in college and say, Macha, my client ra. Yeah, cholule, first day phone paniklanle. And instantly the card got approved. That is all it took to get the card approved. Because there was a face to a name now, and that face had my backing. Correct? Because that guy knew that if Vikash Goyal is picking up the phone and taking the effort to get a credit card issued for a person, then that person must be important for the bank. Now, because I could get that card issued for this client, whom did I become a hero for? The client? Because he said, I have a branch manager who can get the work done for me. My relationship manager was proud. Last branch manager never issued the card. This branch manager got the card issued. Correct? And we as a bank got more money of the client. So to get my job done, I needed people. I needed to know the right people and I got the work done. What about business? What about business? Is knowing people important in business? Yes. I'll tell you, it is the only thing which is important. You can build a fabulous product, but if you don't know whom to sell, can you sell? You can only do cold calls. If you have a fantastic product, but your customer has fixed the price for it, I will only pay you 100 rupees. Then you need to know the right vendors who can make it cheap for you, right? Yes? So you need to have vendors, you need to have customers, and most importantly, you need to have partners. Because none of you have it all, correct? Some of you can be brilliant marketing guys, some of you can be brilliant engineers, some of you can be brilliant financial professionals. But we can't be all. So you need to have partners, you need to have marketeers, you need to have everybody in your team. So for business, knowing people is important. But that's as a student. So what do? Don't make friends only in college. That's why PALS is also important for you. If I was one of you, I got this opportunity, I would come here and make sure I get to meet at least 5 people from 5 different colleges when I come here. So I know what's happening there. They know what's happening in my college, and we become friends. And you can do joint projects, probably become business partners if we go forward. That's what I'm talking about as a student. In career, job growth, trust me guys, politics is there everywhere. It's not a dirty word, it's the right word if you can make it work for you. I'm sure some of you will look at a professional career. If your CEO knows you and then sees your application, what is the probability of you getting the job compared to him not knowing you and he sees your application? Tell me. Which one? First one or second one? First one, right? It's easy. If you know somebody, it's easy to trust him. So again, when you are in a job, important. I am telling you, knowing people in the right sense. Don't take everything to get things moving for you. I mean, you can get that also done if you're smart. But knowing people is very important, and for business expansion. If you saw Dhirubhai Ambani is there, his only claim to fame was every Prime Minister's first call after winning the election was thanking Dhirubhai Ambani, right? If you can do that, then your business expansion is taken care. So this is why I strongly believe actually the networking is important. Now, to be a master networker, do you want to be the guy on the left or the guy on the right? How many of you want to be the guy on the left, the tiger? Or the lion? The lion. How many of you want to be the lion? How many of you want to be the spider? Dirty, slimy, 8-leg creature. How many of you want to be the spider? Why the spider? Huh? Nothing to do with the web, huh? By the nothing to do with the web. You don't reach out. Actually, if you look at that lion, very strong, brave, courageous, works very hard. Everybody is afraid of him, right? Is anybody afraid of the spider? No. All he does is weaves a net, sits there waiting for its prey to come. Yes or no? What does the tiger do? A lion do? Goes out running around, sometimes gets hurt, sometimes almost gets killed to just get one morsel of food, right? Which is the easier way to get your food? The tiger way or the spider way? Just relax, chill out, have a Coca-Cola and somebody will get trapped. So if you build a net wide enough, anybody that you want will be available, will be in that network. So if you have a beautiful network like a spider, then you are assured of that smiling face. Or you can try to be the Simba from Lion King but yet get killed. The choice is yours. With this, I'll quickly wind up. This is something that I strongly believe in. Richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else is looking for work. I can assure you, in my own business, when every other competitor of mine is struggling, I am growing, and I am growing faster every year, faster yet. With this, I'll stop. Thank you.
Arnold Palmer, the legendary golfer, once had a hole-in-one. Know what a hole-in-one is? Oh, hit the ball. So usually on par will be 3 strokes or 4 strokes. This guy hits the ball, it goes all the way there, lands on the green and rolls and then gets into the hole. That's hole-in-one. So he gets a hole-in-one. And somebody in the crowd said, that was lucky. That was lucky. So Arnold Palmer went quietly, picked up the ball, went to that guy and said, sure, that was luck. But somehow I find the more I practice, the luckier I get. The more I practice, the luckier I get. I'll give you another example. The red color Sridhar who's writing feverishly, what's your name? Jennifer. And the guy in the last row. The guy in the last row with specs and looking extremely handsome. Yeah, you're the guy. Yeah. What's his name? Can you pass on his name, please? You tell him. Tyagarajan. Okay. So this is a particular episode that happened to Jennifer. Jennifer, what she was doing last year, if you remember, Jennifer, she was having a cycle in the outer ring road and was cycling in the outer, the outer ring road that goes from beyond Tambaram to Maduravai. You know, that elevated road where nobody will be there. So she was cycling, hoping to go to Annanagar West. It's a long journey. So she was cycling. Unfortunately, that elevated road, you don't have anybody on the left and no shops on the right, no houses on the left. It is an elevated thing. Unfortunately, halfway through, Jennifer, if you remember, chain putikich. And the cycle refused to budge. Worse still, because she lost her balance, she fell down on the side. Remember? It was muddy all along, and then when she was lying there, cycle on top of her, she was telling herself, what could go worse? And it started raining. And Vodambala Sagadi, she was wearing the same kind of a white top, so it was all full of Sagadi. And she was feeling miserable, started crying, and then had to pick up her cycle. And then suddenly she found one light there. There was a house, there was a light there. So slowly she trudged her, goes to that house, rings the bell, she's crying already, all her top white dress is all Sagadi. And then who opens the door? Tyagarajan opens the door and says, hey, Jennifer, what's wrong with you? What happened? He said, this is what happened to me. He said, don't worry. Immediately, Tyagarajan's sister was about the same maid as Jennifer was. So his mom said, don't worry, come in. You can wear her dress, clean up. And then Tyagarajan's father had the swanky car. She got all freshened up. And then Tyagarajan's father dropped her in house. And then Jennifer's mother opens the door and Jennifer says, Mom, you have no idea what happened today. I had the worst day of my life. But you know what? When I went to that house, luckily that house was Tyagarajan's house. A person I met during the PALS lecture series. So what I want to ask you is, was it luck? Was it luck? Or did she take the trouble of networking and knowing people? Yeah? People talk about luck in various ways. Go to the exam and come back. Achi, therinja question vandhathu inniki. Out of the 10 chapters, if you have read close to 8 to 9 chapters, chances are therinja question varum. If you have read just one chapter in a very cursory manner, chances are you will not be lucky. Today, as Vikas rightly put, luck has got less to do with the throw of a dice and more to do with whom you know and how much you know. So I would like you to put your hands together once again to Vikas. I initially said we have 3 people who have all been there, done that. In Vikas' case, he's been there and done everything. He's been so Vikas, thank you. Vikas would also be leaving early at 12 o'clock today, so he might not be available for the question and answer session. So since we are at 11:20, I'd be tempted to, if you can take the mic, if you have any questions for Vikas, particularly on networking, I would like you to collect your thoughts. Right now, I'm going to give you all of 10 seconds. And then ask him, because he has to leave at 12. I know all of you have lots and lots of questions, but it's not come here, it's here and here and here.